Good morning, year 5. It is our second lesson of this week now, week beginning 10th of May. In the last class, we saw reversible and irreversible changes which are caused due to heat, the physical changes and the chemical changes that are caused due to heat. Now, today we are going to review our topic because we have finished this topic now. This is the last lesson, maybe the last lesson of this topic. If you have no doubts, then this will be the last lesson of the week. So we are going to review the properties of material and their changes. Starter is, you don't have to write this in the copybook. Think about it. Recall our last lesson we did. Can you describe any two chemical reactions and two physical reactions caused by heating? So just try to think about two chemical reactions and two physical reactions that are caused by heating, as we discussed in the last lesson. Okay, then we are today going to do our CGP workbook pages 32, 33, which is a mixed question of the entire unit. Like the properties of material, we studied about thermal insulators, conductors, then chemical changes and mixtures. It's a mix of it. Okay, now this page, more reaction. This is about reversible and irreversible changes. So have a look at the picture below. Tick in the boxes next to the things that can rust. Rust, as you know, when iron is exposed to water, it reacts and forms a rust. And it is a irreversible change. It's a chemical change because a new substance has been formed. So do you think the bird will rust, or the barbed wires, or the football? Which things do you think will have rust? You have to tick that. Then question, I hope this is very clear because it's only the iron that reacts with water to form rust. So all the things that are made from iron should be ticked. Now Joe is looking at how bicarbonate of soda reacts with different liquids. We did bicarbonate of soda with vinegar. Now he has different liquids. The picture below shows it's reacting with water, lemon juice, and vinegar. So describe what happens when the bicarbonate of soda is added to the three liquids. Now this is water, lime juice, and vinegar, and he's adding bicarbonate of soda or baking soda. So you have to look at the picture carefully and you can describe what's happening. Like in the water, you see very few bubbles. In lime juice, there are more, but in vinegar, there are a lot of bubbles. So in all the three, there is a chemical reaction going on, but because the water shows very less bubbles, maybe the it's not reacting much with water compared to the vinegar. So you have to describe what do you see by looking at the picture of what's happening. Let's come to the next. Now this one is a mixed one, as I told you all. So it will have questions from all on the entire topic that we did. So let's see how you react to these questions all about the properties and changes of material. Right next to the following mixtures, if they can be filtered, evaporated, or both to separate the water from the solid. Write irreversible if they can't be separated again. So water and plaster of Paris, do you think they can be separated by filtration, evaporation, or it is irreversible? Sand, salt, and water, we have done all this. It's a recap. A sugary cup of tea, can you separate it? You boil the water, you can get the sugar. And then water and powdered paint. So if it is reversible, then how can you separate? Will you use filter paper? Will you use evaporation? Or you have to use the both filtration and evaporation? You have to write that. Then use lines to match the objects on the left with the materials you think they are made of. Jacket. You have to just match them with what material they are made from. Then let's come to the next one. Below are some groups of materials. Label each group as transparent, electric conductor, hard or soluble in water. Use each label once. So it's very simple here again. Glass, bulb, stone, nail. So what do you think they are? If electrical conductor, transparent, what is their property? They are asking you to write that one. Now let's come to the next question. Sam got to separate rice from water. So he wants to separate rice from water. Put a tick next to which of the thing he should use. So rice from water, what do you think he should use? Why she shouldn't use a fishing net? Do you think fishing net, rice from water? Why not? Which one of the object above would you be able to separate a golf ball and rice? Okay, so which one will you use? It's very simple here again. Describe these changes of state using the word evaporation, condensation, melting, freezing. So this one is very easy. We have already done this. Then are these changes reversible or irreversible? Then Harriet is mixing sugar with water to see what happens. What would she see if the sugar dissolves? So if the sugar has dissolved, do you think she can see the sugar? Then Harriet wants to separate the sugar and water. Draw the equipment she will use to separate and describe how it will work. So it is evaporation. So you need to draw how she will separate it. Now I think this is the last page. Write whether the changes are reversible or irreversible. And for the one that you think it is reversible, write how could you reverse the change. So this is again all the examples we have discussed it before in our class. So I hope you'll be able to do it. Melting of ice, bicarbonate of soda with vinegar, wood chips mixed in water. Can you separate them? Is it reversible? If it is reversible, how will you? What equipment you will use to separate them? Then here is draw one line from each box to the left to complete to the correct box on the right to complete the sentence about burning. When I burn fabric, what happens? I can tell there's a gas produced. Why? How can you tell there's a gas produced? Um, so ash, smoke. So when I burn fabric, ash, smoke, and gases are produced. This change is reversible. How can you tell that gas is produced? Because maybe you can smell it. So match the correct one. Now here the last one is true or false. So the statement is you can turn water vapor back into liquid by condensing it on a cool surface. Is it true or false? How can you test it? So describe any like how will you test it? How you can actually do it. Take a beaker and evaporate the water and then cover it with a lid. So you have to describe how will you test it. Chalk dissolved in water. Do you think it can be do you think it is true or false? Will chalk dissolve in water? Insoluble solid will dissolve in water if you stir them clockwise direction. So if something is insoluble, any solid is insoluble. Insoluble means it will not be dissolved. So do you think it will dissolve if I stir it in a clockwise direction? So it's obviously false. Uh, when you evaporate sweetened tea, oh, I can't see this one. Okay, the question is when I evaporate sweetened tea, the sugar will evaporate with water. So if you're evaporating, sugar will definitely not evaporate. So this is a false statement. That's the lesson for today. CGP workbook, and this is the last page, I think. So do it. If you're on Teams, we'll discuss it there. If you're not on Teams, you can check your answers at the back of the workbook. Thank you. Have a nice day.